If you want to win on Amazon or any marketplace for that matter, you have to understand who you are competing against. You must understand their strengths and weaknesses if you want to have a shot at success. Since 2016, I've watched thousands of businesses make the same fatal flaw when looking at their competitors. This mistake will keep them stuck or worse. I don't want you to fall into that trap, which is why I'm revealing my finely honed competitor research process to help set you up for massive success. Armed with this process, you'll know how to exploit the gaps in the market and dominate page one or wherever you're showing up online. Plus, I'll be sharing a massive cheat code that will help not only turbocharge this process, but everything you do with your Amazon listing optimization strategy. This step is super important and should play a major role not only when you're launching your products, but as you continue to optimize and grow over years to come. But there are also two critical mistakes that I see businesses make every single day. In today's video, we are back to building our fictional bully stick brand. If you have not been following along, I am breaking down my entire proven, top-rated Amazon listing optimization process that we have used to help over 2,500 brands launch and grow on Amazon. And in the video, I am pulling back the curtain to show you step by step what it takes to create a finely honed Amazon listing that is optimized to dominate the competition. And in today's video, we are really thinking about the competition, because if you're going to win, you have to understand who you are competing against. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly suggest that you also take a look at my video that goes into my customer research process, because you really want to have your customer avatar developed in order to make your competitor research that much more effective. Because when you understand who your target customer is, then you can look at your competitors through the eyes of how your customer would be evaluating their options to see where they may be ignored, where there could be opportunities to really speak to your customer in a way that's going to resonate with them, and that perhaps your competitors are ignoring or simply not doing a good job of. So I'm going to assume that you've created your customer avatar. If you haven't, then before you put this process into action, go ahead and create yours, because it will make it that much stronger. But now the real question is, who are your competitors? This isn't always as easy of an answer as it may first appear. It can sometimes be difficult to bring that necessary objectivity to do this effectively. So if you find this or any other step of the process or the wider listing optimization strategy difficult, overwhelming, or simply too much time that you don't have, please feel free to reach out. We offer a free listing analysis, which is always down in the first comment below, as well as you can just reach out to us directly and we would be happy to help take this off your plate or connect you with the right resource to fill that gap of what your strategy needs to be as successful as possible. So when we are trying to figure out who our customers are, we're not creating a new category. There are plenty of companies who have paved the way in the world of bully sticks and in the world of dog treats. So this is nothing new. We are not innovating. We are not bringing a never before seen product to the light of day. And so we need an even stronger sense of who our competitors are if we are going to have any chance at all at being successful and standing out from the crowd. But what if you are selling something that has zero competitors. What if you're creating a new category? Maybe one that doesn't exist at all or not yet on Amazon? Whether you're entering an established category or you are creating your own, this next step is critical. But it isn't as obvious as it may appear because you have your direct competitors, those selling a near identical product, in our case, other bully stick companies. But, and this is where I see Amazon sellers making their first critical mistake, the one that can totally derail effective competitor research. And then once you've done that poorly, your listing is going to suffer and you're not going to be able to sell as well as you could. And that is not considering the wider competitive landscape and category that includes a broader range of solutions, because you may or may not have heard of the fact that customers aren't buying your product, they are buying a solution. So whether they have a problem that they need solving, whether they have some aspiration that they hope to achieve, your product is really just a tool in order for them to be able to get what they want. So whether that's saving time, whether that is looking better, whatever it is, there is some underlying benefit that they are after, and your product is simply a means of achieving that. And with that being said, there can be many means of achieving that. So yes, you have your direct competitors that are selling exactly what you sell, but there might also be other solutions or other ways of solving that problem that are very different. So for example, if I'm wanting to create a podcast and I am looking for a way to record myself and look really professional, I could look for a new computer that has a great camera that's built in. I could look for a webcam to use with my existing computer. I could look for a standalone camera that I can also use for other things, or I could even look for a videographer that can just do all of the filming for me. Maybe I'm even looking for an AI tool so that I don't actually have to be involved in any of the creation from start to finish at all. So you see here that this one solution that I'm looking for has a multitude of different options that are going to be affected by what are the criteria that I'm using to evaluate. So how much money I want to spend, how much time I want to invest, any other concerns that I might have, if there are other ways that I want to be using this solution. So in the case of our bully sticks, we have other long-lasting treats like yak's milk sticks. We have activities or games like snuffle mats, lick mats, moving toys. We have non-edible chews like antlers and bones. We also have solutions to dogs that have high energy and that might be destructive, like trainers or other kinds of disciplinary products. So you see here there is a broad range, once more, maybe even hiring a dog sitter to just come and spend some time with your dog during the day while you are working. So we need to be really clear about all of the possible scenarios that a customer might be evaluating or maybe has even tried. Maybe your option is the last straw. It's the final thing that they are selecting after trying a bunch of other things. You have to understand that. You have to understand how you fit in. And if you are only looking at your direct competitors, then you are not fully understanding the experience of the customer, and you are not going to be able to speak to them with the authority, with the clarity, and with the persuasiveness necessary to be competitive on a platform like Amazon. Yes, you might not be competing against all of these companies and solutions with PPC or with ranking, but you still want to be considering them and aware of them and understanding them as you go about putting together your branding and your marketing so that you can create as strong of a listing as possible. And now we arrive at mistake number 2, which is probably just as, if not even more common than mistake number 1, and can also be really detrimental to your growth potential, and that is only conducting your competitor research within Amazon. And you must understand that even if a customer is going directly to Amazon to search for your product, that you still need to understand the broader competitive landscape, especially with the way that AI is beginning to shift and change product discovery and how customers research, learn about, find, and buy products. So you might be showing up in the search results next to a variety of other products that aren't on Amazon in a search that originated on ChatGPT. So if you are only optimizing for being able to win within Amazon, then you are going to miss out. But what the other piece of this is that oftentimes Amazon product pages and Amazon marketing within the marketplace, it tends to lag behind the trends. It tends to lag behind what is happening in the category. And so you may have really strong blind spots to what customers care about and are thinking about right now if you are only looking at your competitors on Amazon. So when you are conducting your competitor research, you need to do all of this on Amazon and you need to do all of it off Amazon. And so now let's quickly go through the process that you need to follow. So on Amazon, you want to take those primary keyword phrases that you know you need to rank on. You want to type them into Amazon and you want to see exactly who you are competing against. Data Dive can make this really streamlined and really so much easier than trying to do all of this manually. If you're not using Data Dive, then this is another great way that you can integrate it into your process. And I do have a discount code down below if you are interested in checking it out. So let me show you really quickly how Data Dive can be a great tool for helping you conduct your competitor research and analysis against who you are going head to head against on Amazon. Of course, this is not comprehensive. Of course, you are still going to need to do additional research both on Amazon and off, but this is just going to make part of the process so much easier. So I've pulled up the keyword research that I ran for the bully sticks that we are selling, which I also have a video where I show you how I actually did this as part of my keyword research process. And if you go to the deep dive, you can see that for all of the competitors that we pulled in, it is showing me the product images, which is super duper helpful. So this is one way that we can begin to understand certain aspects of our competitors, including things like average prices, their sales rank. So this is just giving you a sense of how they're doing and a few pieces of the puzzle. If you go to the niche tracker, I believe this is something that they are getting ready to sunset. So if you like this, then join me in asking them to keep it. But if you go to the niche tracker and you see the little date here, you can click on it and it will open up a Google Sheet. And I really like this Google Sheet. I think that there's just something about the way that when I look at things, that this feels more accessible to me than operating just within the website version of the tool itself. And you can see that it gives me the competition search volume strength. It gives me a number of different details there. And then it has a lot of the information that was displayed in other parts of the tool. It's all right there. So these are some of the things that I really like in the Sheets version that for me is a big plus is if you look at the battle of the titles, you can see here that we have every single competitor title all right next to each other. Similarly, with the battle of the bullets, we have their bullet points pulled in as well. So it's great for when it's time to build your listing, but it's also really helpful to be able to look at all of the titles and see maybe where they're all targeted towards, where some gaps might be. So as all of those questions that you're asking when you are conducting your competitor analysis, you can do that on the title and on the bullets as well, which I personally find very helpful. So you want to really take a fine-tooth comb to every single aspect of your direct competitors on Amazon and Also, looking at all of their reviews, you can use AI tools to very quickly and easily analyze all of the competitor reviews so that you do not have to do that manually. But that's another great way to begin to understand where are their strengths, where are their weaknesses, what do customers love about them, what do customers feel like they are missing out on. All of those details are so important that you can use for your own content, even if it's something that is identical to what the other competitors are offering. If you are choosing to speak to it when your other competitors are ignoring it, then you have a quick and easy win that you can use to your advantage. So you always, as you are conducting your competitor analysis, you really want to be thinking about this idea of contrast, or how can I create a strong differentiation between what my competitors are offering and what I am offering? What is it that the customer would love about their offer? What might they hate? And how can I use that knowledge to my advantage as I am going about my strategy? Now, you also want to be doing the same thing with the wider field of competitors that we spoke about. So in this case, we would be wanting to study Yak's milk treats and moving toys and lick mats and all of those different things that customers might want to be considering alongside a solution like bully sticks. And then you want to go off Amazon. You want to look at your competitors on social media, on Google, with AI. Use AI to tell you, hey, who is my competitor speaking to? Where are they maybe making some false assumptions? What are their biggest weaknesses that I can use to my advantage? What do I need to understand in order to be able to win against them? All of these kinds of questions can be so valuable and so helpful to get you thinking outside of the box and to get you thinking strategically. And then another piece when you are considering off Amazon presence is, are there any other marketplaces that you also need to be evaluating? For example, with a product like bully sticks, there are also pet specific websites that I should be aware of, that I should be doing my research on. So that would be Chewy, that would be PetSmart, that would be Petco. And all of that is going to feed into my understanding of what the competitive landscape looks like and my place within it, how the current landscape is serving my potential customer and where they might be neglected, where there might be those opportunities that I can identify, that I can really lean into and use to my advantage, perhaps even carving out a niche that didn't previously exist. And the only way that you can do that is if you truly understand who your competitors are and how you can position yourself against them. The last piece of the puzzle is that just like every other part of your listing optimization and branding and marketing strategy, you need to be having a finger on the pulse of what is happening right now in your category and in your competitive landscape, meaning that this is not something that you do once and then you push it to the side and you put a check mark to it and you say, good job, I'm so proud of myself. No, this is something that you should be doing on a regular basis. You should have your finger on the pulse of what is happening in your category, in your industry, how your competitors are responding to different things, what customers are excited about, what's happening in the social media zeitgeist of it all. If you want to be relevant, if you want to meet customers where they are today and in the future, this is a critical piece of that. And just as critical is being able to understand how to take all of this information from your competitor research, from your customer research, and combining all of that into a really strong framework that is going to allow you to soar past the competition. And in the next video in this series, we will be going into exactly that. So make sure that you are subscribed if you're not already. If that video is live, then I will go ahead and link it right here. So just go ahead and click on that and watch it. In the meantime, if it's not live, then I highly suggest that you strongly click on whatever video is showing up there, because I know it is going to be a great one. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Bye.